Hey guys, I'm Matt from Nutrition Temple here at Hunter Connection, and today I have world champion bodybuilder and founder of Gen Tec Nutrition, Nick Jones. Welcome, Nick.
Thanks, Matty. It's always a pleasure to see you, my
Thanks,
friend.
mate.
Always.
So Nick, tell us a little bit about why you started Gen Tec and who Gen Tec is.
Okay, thanks, Matt. And thanks for having me at Nutrition Temple.
Anytime, mate.
Beautiful store in the city here, well, 3 locations. So it's my pleasure to be supplying Nutrition Temple with my Gen Tec range. Look, Matt, folks, I started the company back in '99. I started releasing my first products in the year 2000, which was creatine and glutamine. The reason I started Gen Tec really was I was a competitive bodybuilder at the time. I was getting ready for the NABBA Mr. Universe in 1999 when I finished my role with a previous company I worked for, which were fantastic to me, and I learned so much from them. And after spending some time getting ready for the show, I really didn't want to work for anyone else, number one. Number two, I wanted to know exactly what it was I was using personally. That was probably one of the key things. I've always been a stickler for quality, no matter whether it's the company I keep, whether it's the food I consume or the supplements I consume. It's all about quality. Formulas are important, but the quality of raw materials is the most important thing. So I wanted to be in control exactly of what I was putting into my body, because I was competing at a world level with NABBA at the World Championships, the Mr. Universe, and the local level of the Mr. Australia level as well. So that's really why I started the company, was to know exactly what it is I was using. And then obviously there's a big market that wants to use premium quality and want the choice of using premium quality products and raw materials as well. That's really why I started.
Cool, thanks mate. So today we're going to have a bit of a chat about the importance of carbohydrates and these two awesome products. The TR3 and P2P, it's a product that a lot of the staff here at Temple use. So if you want to break it down, why are carbs so important for us, regardless of our goals?
Well, Matty, times have changed, you know. It was only ever protein that was sold as a protein powder. Carbohydrates just didn't sell as a standalone product. And funnily enough, I manufacture a product called Pure Carbs. Pure Carbs was my third product I started in 2000, or I released in 2000. I reckon we used to sell about maybe 22 kilo tubs a month. Right now we sell somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 tubs a month. So the times have really changed, and the consumers and strength training athletes, strength coaches are understanding the importance of carbohydrates. However, there's still a big part of the market and consumers that don't understand them, that I would call carb phobic. And folks, let me tell you, carbohydrates, particularly the carbohydrate blend in these two products, carbohydrates stimulate your body to produce the most anabolic hormone in the body, being insulin. So unfortunately for the diabetics, they can't produce it, they need to use insulin. But quite simply, when we consume carbohydrates, we produce insulin. So there's a timing, there's some very important times on when to consume carbohydrates and what to consume them with. So many of the mass gainers, they'll have a lot of carbs in with the protein. This is okay, but these quicker digesting carbs, they produce insulin, like I said. And as we know, with poor nutrition and consuming too much sugars or too many sugars for too many years, there's all sorts of disease that come with too much sugar in your diet, folks. Adult onset diabetes, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, the list will go on and on from too much sugar really in the Western diet. So a lot of us eliminate sugars from our diet, but then really reduce carbohydrates completely. When we're trying to work at a high level, we're trying to train at a high level. So the interesting thing when someone's on a low carb diet to get in shape and get their abs, you know, and I think in Sydney here, God bless Sydney-siders, I love Sydney, but so many of the Sydney-siders want their abs. They want to be in shape, you know, 24/7, 365 days of the year, and they believe the key to doing that is to have a very low carb diet and consume only a high quality and a fast digesting protein. So I've thrown that out of the window, because good basic sports nutrition tells us that we need to restore glycogen and carbohydrates immediately after workouts. This is crucial. Any good sports nutritionist or strength coach will tell you, restore your glycogen levels, restore your carbohydrate levels in your body within the first 30 minutes of training. So we can be talking about a rugby player, a netball player, a league player, soccer, the list goes on with all athletes, but certainly bodybuilders understand the importance of carbs post-workout. And the bodybuilders understand the importance of carbs post-workout because of the insulin response. Post-workout, you're normally in a catabolic or broken down state from training hard. How do we get the body into an anabolic or muscle building state? The introduction of carbohydrates in the form that's in TR3. These carbohydrates stimulate an insulin response as well as restore carbohydrate or glycogen very effectively. Stimulating an immune response, insulin's an anabolic hormone because it's a storing hormone. If we have high insulin levels in the bloodstream, along with amino acids, along with creatine and other sugars, insulin will drive these nutrients into cells very, very effectively and create this anabolic state post-workout. So I think when it comes to carbohydrates, or not, I think I know, carbohydrates absolutely crucial with your post-workout shake, your fast digesting proteins. So P2P, Matty, it's my favorite product. This is my personal favorite. To be able to, when we talk about carbohydrate timing or nutrient timing, we talk about TR3 being so important for recovery and strength training athletes and coaches and sports nutritionists know about glycogen replenishment and the importance of carbs post-workout. I think the most important carbohydrate timing is intra. We know, you and I both know, you probably more so, how popular amino acids or flavored amino acids are
100%.
In the industry these days. And you go into pretty much any gym and you'll see people training with this colored liquid in their shakers and they're, probably, 80% of the time, they're drinking straight flavored amino acids. So amino acids during workouts are obviously better than consuming water alone. However, the profound difference with timing carbohydrates with the amino acids, well, it has been studied and researched, and it becomes very obvious once you try it. Quite simply, the amino acids are needed as the building blocks of protein. Specifically, the branch chains help with reducing muscle breakdown during workouts. Yes, they do. However, if we're consuming branch chains on their own, during workouts, they're often broken down via the glucose-alanine cycle and converted to glucose and sugar. So they're not reducing muscle breakdown so much as becoming an energy source. We don't want to do that. We want the branch chains or the proteins to be proteins and be the building blocks and to be anti-catabolic. To be able to do that, quite simply, we add the carbohydrates to the amino acids. So the carbohydrates, yes, they'll provide a bit of fuel for training, but the insulin response that we get during the workout from the carbs is very favorable in the fact that insulin's a storing hormone. So it's going to try and help store those amino acids in muscles whilst you're training.
But those carbs will actually have a positive effect on cortisol, which is a stress hormone that gets released during training too, yeah?
And Matty, that's very smart. I think that's probably the most important part of it. Matty's hit it on the head. The most important part, I think, of the insulin response from carbohydrate is the reduction in cortisol production. So, there was one trial that showed when we consume water whilst we train and train hard with weights, our cortisol levels increase by 120 times. Now, it sounds like a lot, but I think that's fairly normal when you're training hard for your cortisol levels to rise above baseline 120 times or 120%. When we consume carbohydrates with amino acids, a lot of the times we'll see cortisol levels reduce during a hard workout. Now, that's profound. That is certainly profound. So that's why we're looking at the result in performance during a workout. Drinking P2P increases, so we get stronger. The most profound thing though is the reduction in muscle breakdown and the anti-catabolic effect of the carbohydrates along with the amino acids. So it's a no-brainer to consume carbohydrates with your amino acids. You'll notice a very big difference the first time you use it. Probably what you'll find that most people find is you get a great pump, that's all well and good, but 3/4 of the way through your session, you will still be performing at maximum intensity and your weights will not drop off. So your performing weights that you're using will not drop off 3/4 of the way through your training when you supplement with P2P. So Matty, that's why it's my favorite product. Even getting ready for a contest, trying to get down or getting down to 5% body fat and below, I still, and our sponsored athletes still consume P2P during the workout. We consume it right up until a week out of the competition when it's time to carb deplete. So for those of you that are trying to reduce body fat and you're saying, I don't want the carbs, don't give me the carbs, and it's very, very common to drop the carbs even into a workout. It's crazy too, because the whole point of weight training is to perform. is to get stronger, is to build muscle tissue. All right, so if we are still able to do this while we're dieting on restricted calories, again, it's very profound. We can build muscle whilst losing fat. Because consuming carbs during a workout, they cannot convert to fat. It's impossible for carbohydrates to store as fat during a workout, impossible. Consuming 40 grams of carbohydrates post-workout, after a hard 1 hour's workout, impossible to convert those carbs to fat. It will store as glycogen. And you will be better set up for your next workout with higher glycogen stores for better performance and better results.
I just want to quickly touch base on Nick's products are Informed Sports approved. So for you guys out there that play elite level sports, whether it be rugby, soccer, league, what have you, these products will not show up in any testing. So Nick, you want to just sort of touch base a little bit on how
Sure,
you know
mate.
about getting that? Because not any old product can be approved by these guys.
Thanks for bringing that up, Matty, because it's quite a process to get Informed Sport approved. There's only a couple of Australian companies that have done it, probably because of the cost and because of the process. So LGC, the company based in South Africa, they own the trademark for Informed Sport and Informed Choice. They are recognised by WADA as being the premium or premier testing procedures for products all over the world for prohibited substances. LGC come out to our manufacturing facility and do an audit to make sure that number one, we're not using any prohibited substances in our manufacturing. Number two, we have the correct clean down processes and so forth, so there's no chance of cross-contamination from previously manufactured products, which may contain prohibited substances. So the facility is audited. My raw material suppliers are also audited and they sign waivers. Lastly, and probably most importantly, every single batch, every flavour of both TR3 and P2P, we send, when we manufacture the batch, we send 2 samples to the UK. The labs in the UK, owned by LGC, the labs test these products specifically for prohibited substances.
Wow.
We get the results back within 10 days of sending the samples off, and we get the all clear. So they get tested, they're clear of prohibited substances. Informed Sport list our batch, so they would list GEN TEC Nutrition P2P Fresh Apple 04017, batch 24319, clear, and once it's put on their website, we get the all clear, we then release this batch and this product to the market. So it is guaranteed when you see the Informed Sport logo, this product cannot and does not, any product from this batch, does not contain any prohibited substances, either through direct introduction or cross-contamination at a contract manufacturer. So it's the most stringent testing you can get, Matty, anywhere in the world, and it is recognised by WADA. So any drug-tested athletes that are on big contracts and even like me that don't want to use prohibited substances, don't want to use a product that they're not sure could be cross-contaminated. The other thing they do is obviously these products must test up to label claim. So when you see this mark Informed Sport on any product, guarantee that what's on the label is in the jar. It's possibly the highest quality that you can get, but it's certainly prohibited substance free.
Perfect. I'm glad we touched on that. I think it's such an important thing. There's been so many instances in the news where, you know, young kids that may not have the education they need when it comes to supplements have taken the wrong things and lost contracts and stuff. So you can rest assured that with these products here, you're never going to have any dramas with it. So thanks for running us through that, Nico.
No worries. And it's interesting because I've had numerous calls lately from fathers of young rugby league players that are out at certain clubs ready to get signed, and they have been drug tested here in Sydney. 2 clubs, just recently it's happened, and the dads are really, you know, freaking out because the boys are using these 2 products and our casein as well most of the time, and that they're really scared. So once I get to talk to them and explain how safe these products are and guaranteed prohibited substance free, they rest assured. And we certainly do. There's many athletes I can't name, and even teams that I can't name, that have won championships even this year. It's probably a little bit too much information, that use these 2 products. P2P for performance, TR3 for recovery. You will not get better products, and I don't say that, I try and say that unbiasedly, even though I develop the products. I know what goes into them. I source the raw materials, Matt. I put the formulations together. I work with the flavouring of the products as well. I know what goes into them, and I know you will not get a better performance or recovery product in the market.
All right, guys. Well, we might wrap it up there for today. Thanks so much for coming in, Nick. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Matty. My pleasure.
Hopefully you guys have learned a bit out of this video, and Nick's taught you the importance of carbohydrates. So for all you people that are carb phobic out there, hopefully this has sort of put your minds at ease that it's okay to have carbs intra and post workout to make sure you're maximizing your training goals.